We're back again with the Greg Larson Show. Get onto my Patreon. Get on there now. Patreon, Greg Larson. You can listen to the extra episode I did the other week where I went on about Sky News because I got in trouble with Sky News. And I did an episode about Sky News. I also did a little extra episode the other day, just an Ask Me Anything. Just get the people to ask me stuff. So you get a little extra stuff here and there. You also get discounts whenever I do a live show, and I will have some coming up soon. Stay tuned, TBC. And you also just get to feel good knowing that you're helping me make a little comedy. So get onto my Patreon or go buy a shirt on Redbubble. I've got shirts that are real fucked. They say things like "Cum Dog Trillionaire," and not many people have bought them, but a couple of people have bought them. Anyway, that's enough from me. Go listen to this episode now, starting now. Go.
The Greg Larson Show. The big unit is ready to go. The Greg Larson Show. Muck around on the marzipan. A fresh custard in his hand. The greatest podcast in all the land. Greg Larson Show. Yeah. Great, just what we need, another podcast show.
Welcome to the show. My name is Greg Larson. Today I'm talking all about jobs. I just want to tell you a couple of stories about jobs that I've had and workplaces that I've been in. Because I'm done with politics. I no longer believe in anything. Politics are over now. We beat Peter Dutton, Pedo Pete. He's 6 foot under. He's dead in the ground. Fucking suck shit, you fucking loser.
You fucking suck. You fucking suck. You fucked it. You fucked it up. You're fucking shit.
I hate working. Jobs are fucking shit. I don't know. Like that's the thing. I'm not talking about politics anymore. I'm done with politics. I'm done with believing in things. That's it. I'm done. From now on, I'm a nihilist. I don't believe in anything. I don't have opinions about anything. Other than fuck it. But it's always weird. I always see when, this is not an episode about politics. I'm not talking about politics.
Oh, well done, sweetie.
But when politicians run campaigns like, we need to create more jobs. We need more jobs. And everyone's like, yeah, that's who we want. We want to vote for someone that's going to give us more jobs. People are like, they're keen on jobs. And I'm like, I'm watching this just going, fucking shut up, man. Like don't make us fucking do another job. Like some of the worst things I've ever done in my life were jobs. Ugh. What's a good job? None of them. They're shit. Jobs are shit. You do everything you can to not have a job. Why would you want to have a job? There's no and this is the thing that pisses me off, right? About I'm not talking about politics. It's not about politics. I don't believe in anything anymore. But these fucking losers, these fucking Peter Dutton idiots, these Trump fuckheads. They're so upset about diversity and how it's like taking your job. Like, diversity requirements mean unqualified people are getting jobs from people who are qualified. My job has been stolen by a drag queen, which is the dumbest thing, right? It's the dumbest fucking thing. Because, I mean, it's dumb for so many reasons, but obviously, I don't think people realize that diversity isn't like a diversity requirement for a job doesn't mean that they're just throwing out qualifications. Like they're not going like, oh, we need a heart surgeon to do this surgery. We could get this white man who's a surgeon, or we could just go down to a pride parade and get just a drag queen in a sparkly top because that's diverse. And they go, cut this guy's chest open quick. Like you can, the drag queen still needs a medical degree. You know what I mean? I don't think people realize that. It doesn't mean, like, a diversity requirement doesn't mean, oh, we're going to waive the qualifications and just get anyone in. Nah, man, it means they're just going, hey, let's make sure we prioritize people from diverse backgrounds so it's not all just our mates who are in it. And because that's who it used to be. Like, you know, it used to be just unqualified white dudes who went to private schools and played Soggy Sayo with these other private school boys, which is a game where you jerk off onto a Sayo cracker or a Jats cracker or whatever one you want to call it. I don't know if you have it in. What do you call crackers in America? Do you have crackers? What is it, or is it just like if you eat, like, because we'll have like cheese and crackers. What would you have cheese on? Like a bit of bacon? Like a cube of, do you have like a cube of lard on a crispy piece of bacon? I say this as I'm an incredibly obese man, and I'm like, oh, do you eat a cube of lard? I'm really, really overweight, which is kind of funny. But yeah, Soggy Sayo, it's a game where private school boys jerk off onto crackers and they come on the cracker and then they have to eat the cracker, right? Diversity requirements, all it is just making sure that, you know, out of the pool of qualified people, they're trying to make sure there's not just your mates and your like old boys club fucking boys getting in. But also the people that are upset about it, I mean, let's be fucking realistic about the situation we're in, right? I've had a lot of jobs in my life. Yeah, people drastically compensate over, what's the word? What's the fucking word? There's got to be a word for this shit.
Right. What's the fucking word?
Daddy.
Daddy.
The people overemphasize how difficult or challenging or how many requirements are needed for their job. There's not a job on earth, and I stand by this. There's not a single job on earth that couldn't be completely learned by anyone in like a half-day course. Nah. Not one. Any job, name a job. It's not that hard. I could learn it in an afternoon. Anyone could. Maybe the two exceptions would be heart surgeon and Subway sandwich artist. But other than that, there's no job. I've never had a job. Honestly, I've never had a job in my life that couldn't have been as equally performed by a pretty intelligent wombat. Like if you got a smart wombat, like, and trained it up real good, it could do any job that I've ever done. And I would hazard a guess is to say like 90% of all jobs on Earth could be done by a trained wombat. Like if you could get the vocal cords in a wombat to be able to say, let's touch base. Like that's every office middle management job taken care of. You got it done. If you could get a wombat to park a Ford Raptor across 2 handicap parking spaces, every construction worker's out of a job. You've lost your job to a wombat. Congratulations. No job is that hard. And that's the thing that pisses me off about work is like how much work is just like, what is this? Like when you go to a job and you're like, what is this fucking job? What's the point of it? Like realistically, what's the point of it? What would happen if I just didn't do it or no one did it? If just no one did it. And I'm sort of exaggerating, but I'm sort of not. Like there's been jobs I've had, I guess, that, it's probably cheaper to get a person than it is to get a robot, at least at the moment. But there's been heaps of jobs where like Like I've had multiple call center jobs. I've worked in multiple call centers where my entire job was just to read things off the website and tell people you can do all this on the website, which also could have just been done with a recorded message. Like you could have just had a recorded message that says that. Nothing wouldn't have made a difference. Not a difference at all. And like but the main thing I hate about work, about any kind of job, is the way that bosses, and I hate bosses. You know, I hate bosses. I hate the landlords. I hate the bosses. I hate the way that bosses try and make you think that you're part of a family, that your work is your family. I've had that said to me before. I've had a boss say to me when I was quitting, say to me, we're a family here. You know, this is more than a business. This is a family. It's like, well, is it? Because am I going to get your house when you die? I'm not going to get your house when you die, am I? Like if I call you at 2 a.m. and say, hey, I'm real drunk in the city. Could you come pick me up? Yeah. Are you going to come? Like if I was like, hey, can I have $20? Like your boss will ask you, and I'm sure I've said this before. I'm sure I've said a lot of this stuff before on this podcast, but I'm doing it again. I'm talking about workplaces. Your boss says to come in 15 minutes early. Every job I've ever had, the boss is like, you got to come in 15 minutes before your shift starts and like check your emails and stuff. And you're not getting paid for that 15 minutes. And they're like, well, it's just 15 minutes. It's just 15 minutes. It's like, yeah, it's just $5 of my time. Are you going to give me the $5? If I go into the register and steal $5, are you going to call the cops? Yes, they are. You're going to get fired on the spot. I've never been able to fire a family member. It's fucking bullshit. Your boss isn't your family. It's a business transaction. It's not your fucking family. These cunts. Every boss fucks you over. And even when it is your family, I remember one of the first, I guess it was like I'd say first jobs. The first time I ever worked, it wasn't a job. It wasn't official. It wasn't on the books. But I went down to New South Wales to Barnaby Joyce's neck of the woods. I had an uncle out there who was a sheep farmer. He wasn't a sheep farmer. He didn't have his own farm or his own sheep. He worked on other people's farms and doing stuff with other people's sheep. I don't know. And those farmers, man. Someone like I went down there. I stayed with him. I was a teenager, right? I was like 13 at the time. I stayed with him like for a school holidays once, and I was going to work. Like I say I was going to, I did. I worked for the school holidays, like in various, like helping my uncle out on all these different sheep farms and stuff. And man, I mean, yeah, first of all, farmers, like what, I don't know what's going on down there. What fucking, they had the maddest houses. They had all these big fucking rear projection TVs. They're all like fucking, they had like 6 cars. I was like, man, these farmers are fucking loaded. And I'd go to these farms and then we'd be, had to mule sheep one time, which is when you cut a bit of skin off the back of a sheep and then blood squirts out. And then you paint it with like this disinfectant so the sheep don't get fly strike. I guess that's a job that matters, isn't it? You don't want fly strike in your communities. That was bad. I didn't enjoy that. I didn't enjoy it. I remember my uncle once cut the balls off a sheep because it was like, oh, this one hadn't got his balls cut off, and he quickly just cut the balls off a sheep and then he chucked them at me. And I was like, don't. So that wasn't great. But that, I remember doing that, and then for this sheep farmer guy, and then like doing that for like 2 days, and then like doing another 2 days of fencing. And fencing, I don't know if anyone's ever done fencing, but that's like hard. And I was 13. I mean, come on, like I'm a kid, and I'm doing my best. And like they were showing me the ropes and all the rest of it, but I was bloody, hammering in posts and rolling out wire and fucking shit down in Barnaby Joyce neck of the woods. And after like 4 days of work, the guy whose sheep farm it was, this is 100% true. I was 13. Right, I was 13. This was off the books. I wasn't working like as an official employee. There was no paperwork signed, right? And I wasn't expecting a lot of money. I wasn't expecting a massive payday. I was 13 years old. I didn't know how much. I had no idea how much to expect. I had no idea what I was going to get. I knew I was going to get some cash in hand. And after the 4 days of work, we're at the pub. Just me and the boys. No, it was a family, a bunch of the farming families all at the pub in town. And the guy that owned the farm came up to me and he goes, "Thanks for your work these last couple of days. I really appreciate it, mate. Hold out your hand." And I stuck my hand out and I was like, "I'm going to get some money." And just think for a second. I mean, this is the 90s. It is the 1990s. I'm 13. I'm doing work for 4 days. I don't know what you're thinking I might get. Honestly, I would have been happy with almost anything. I was thinking, what if he gave me $100? Like that would be, to me, if he'd given me $100, I would have been, holy shit, this is insane. This is so good. If he'd given me $100 for those 4 days of work, I would have been over the moon. If he'd given me $50, I would have been like, oh yeah, pretty fucking good. $50 in my pocket. I was 13 years old. Yeah, $50 is sick. If he'd given me $20, I would have gone, all right. I guess I'm getting $20 for the 4 days of work. He gave me a $2 coin. I saw he had a big rear projection TV, like one of those big ones that cost like back in the 90s, like only the richest cunts had those ones. He gave me a $2 coin for cutting off bits of skin off sheep and doing fencing and shit for 4 days. $2 coin. Which even in the 90s and even for being 13, I was like, go fuck yourself. Like, actually go fuck yourself. We're a family here. Nah, we look out for each other in the bush. Fuck you. But it was a really good lesson to learn early. Anyone who is a boss or a business owner is a scumbag and they're going to fuck you over the second they get the chance. Always. I used to work at a place called Wow Sight and Sound. Wow Sight and Sound. It was like JB Hi-Fi or like Best Buy if you're an American, or I don't know, Tesco's if you're English. I don't know what you have over there other than Tesco's or the Greg's. Also, and here's the thing. I know I've got UK listeners. And actually, I quite like the UK. I would live there if I could. I like it. I enjoy it. There's a lot to like about it. But you cunts cannot make a pie or a sausage roll to save your life. I don't know what the fuck you're doing with your pies and your sausage rolls. And you think you invented them? Well, you invented them. We perfected them, mate. You suck. You suck. Like, yeah, Greg's is bad. And I feel bad because I went to Greg's. There's a place called Greg's that does pies and sausage rolls. I'm like what could, this is a match made in heaven. I'm Greg. I love a pie. I love a sausage roll. That's all I fucking eat is a tradies brekkie. Never had a worse pie. Never had a worse sausage roll than Greg's. I was like, you fucking take that sign down. You're lucky there's an extra G on Greg's or I would sue you. Pies and sausage rolls in the United Kingdom are shit. With the exception of, I think I had one sausage roll at King's Cross Station from a Scottish man that had like a market outside. That was an all right sausage roll. Everything else, fuck off. Australia does it better. New Zealand does it better. New Zealand. Oh, big shout out to the Fairley Bakery. That's a small business you can rely on. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah, business owners, right? They're all fucking dogs. So this place called Wow Sight and Sound. They were dodgy as hell. They'd make you sign in with it. They talked about being family, right? They talked about being family. We're all family here. My family doesn't make me clock on with a fingerprint scanner and like check the cameras to make sure I'm not having too long a break. And this is the thing about jobs, right? And this is the thing about the way that we see work in this country and in Western countries. At Wow Sight and Sound, my job was to sell TVs and stereos and iPods and computers and all the rest of it. And when there were customers in the store, I would talk to the customers and I would go, hey, do you want to buy this fucking DVD player or whatever? You know, do you want to buy this fucking sound card for your computer or whatever? But when there wasn't customers in, and here's the thing, because this shop was open till 9 p.m. every single night of the week, they decided we want to be open all the time. That's our thing. Like, that's our whole thing. And even if there's no customers in, it's like people know that we're open, so it's good for the brand. And the thing was, at night, after 6 p.m., there's no customers in the store. And so, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And, like, a good person or a decent boss, if there was such a thing, which there isn't, would be like, if there's no customers, just chill, just talk, just chat. But they couldn't stand that. They couldn't stand the idea that we could just relax on company time. So like, you gotta vacuum, like they'd make us clean, right? They'd make us clean. I'm like, yeah, but like, that's fine. Except like you've literally paid cleaners to come in an hour. Like any cleaning I do will just be done by them. Like, yeah, like this is pointless. Or they'd go, oh, remove that stack of DVD players and stack it up like a pyramid instead of this other pyramid. They just make you do pointless busy work, right? And that's what jobs are, right? Jobs, like 90% of jobs I've had are just pointless busy work. Just keeping yourself occupied until it's clock off time. You just sit there just like pretending to do work when you're actually just copy pasting a news.com article into the subject line of an email so it looks like you've got an email open, but you're actually just reading an article in the subject line. Because there's nothing else to do. Because there's fucking nothing else to do. But your boss won't let you do nothing. They're like, oh, you got to do something. Fucking Wow Sight and Sound. We used to work like that, and like when we'd have stock take, they'd be like, oh, you got to stay late. It's stock take time. You got to stay late. And you're like, how late? And they're like, till the job is done. And they're not paying me extra, but then they'd go, oh, we'll buy you Hungry Jacks. We'll buy you bloody KFC. Like, yeah, cool. That's like, what? You've bought me one burger. That's like $6 at the time. Bloody burgers have gotten expensive now. You bought me one burger. I stayed for 6 extra hours. You dog cunts. But if I stole money out of the till, you'd call the cops. You fucking dogs. I think the owners of Wow Sight and Sound are dead now. The whole business went out of business. They were real dodgy. They do all kinds of dodgy shit. One time someone put up a union poster in the staff room and they ripped it down and yelled at everyone. They were like, what are you doing this to us for? Because you're cunts. Join your union. Because your boss is a cunt. That should be the slogan for every union. Join us because your boss is a cunt. And your boss is a cunt. Even the good ones are cunts. I remember working in this sort of gave me an insight as to, I think this was the job that I was around the most like open and I guess, yeah, open, proud liberal voters was I had another job in a call center where I was working in a superannuation company. Talk about this briefly in my show that I did this year called Geggy. And by the way, I'm going to be doing a repeat of that show for one night only at Comedy Republic in Melbourne in July. Stay tuned. The tickets will go on sale soon. But I talked about this job. But like I had this job in a call center, right? It was a superannuation company. I hated this fucking job. I hate any call center job is the worst. Because all you're doing is just reading what's on the website. I'm just reading what's on the website and telling them go to the website. And everyone there was like, I don't know why. I guess superannuation, finance, whatever. It's like they were all like conservative liberal voters. And we had this 2-week sort of training course Again, could have been done in an afternoon, but whatever. We had this 2-week training course where we're all in there together, so we're all talking all the time and you get to know each other. And they were all these hardcore Liberal voters. I remember in like the second week, the boss came in and was like, hey, this was while Julia Gillard was Prime Minister. Julia Gillard, for non-Australians, was a Prime Minister who was our first female PM, and she was like fine. And everyone, like all the Conservatives, fucking hated her guts. Like they fucking hated her. And like, you know, you don't want to go, oh, it's just they hated her because she was a woman. But I mean, yeah. Same reason why the Conservatives went completely bonkers when Barack Obama got elected. They're like, they can't say it, but he's a black man. They didn't like it. The Conservatives didn't like it that we had a woman in charge. They just didn't like it. And they went psycho. They hated her. They're constantly like, I've never seen, I don't know if people remember that time, but I've never seen such vitriol against a prime minister. And again, she's a Labor prime minister. So what's she doing? Like, I didn't hate her. I didn't like her. I was just like, oh yeah, she's just doing nothing and being a politician and going, well, that's a good point. And I'll circle back around to that, like saying nothing like all politicians do. Anyway. One day at this superannuation company. And also, I guess I need to explain just briefly for listeners that superannuation is, I don't even know what the fuck it is in other countries. I don't know what it is. Your boss has to pay a certain amount of money into a bank account, or it's not a bank account, but let's just call it a bank account, into a bank account that you can't access until you retire. It's a retirement savings that your boss has to pay into, a pension fund. I don't know. It's legally mandated. Every boss has to pay you into your superannuation. I say it's legally mandated. I've had lots of bosses that never paid. What are you going to do about it? Call the cops? They don't care. Bosses are cunts. Anyway, long story short, while Julia Gillard and Labor was in power, there was a thing where they had decided to help people recover their lost superannuation. So if you had a superannuation account with only a few $1,000s in it and you'd forgotten about it and you didn't know how to access it, that money would actually get eaten away by fees and would disappear. And what the government did was going, all right, any account that's been inactive for over like 10 years, we're freezing that money and putting it in a holding account so that people don't lose it. So then they get, like, it's all there so people can come back and claim it. But of course, the right-wing media said, Julia Gillard's stealing your superannuation. And so our boss had to come in and say, look, there's been a thing in the media. You're going to get inquiries. If anyone says anything, the government is not stealing your superannuation. They're putting it in a holding account. And then everyone in the room was like, fucking Julia Gillard, why would she steal our super? And the boss was like, I have to really stress the opposite is happening. She's protecting the super. She's protecting the money. That's the whole point of this policy. It's because if she didn't, the super would go away. This is for the benefit. And everyone was like, yeah, but you wouldn't put it past her. Well, you would put it past her because she didn't do it. They were like, yeah, but she fucking would steal your super, wouldn't she? That's the kind of thing she would do. No, it isn't, because she's doing the opposite thing. They couldn't fucking function, right? They couldn't, the more that you explain to them that Julia Gillard was trying to protect their superannuation, the more they got mad at the idea that she would try and steal it if she could. This is the mind of the average bloody voter. Defund. I don't know what that means. But I had this job at this call center. I got fired from that. It was one of the few jobs that I actually got fired from. I talked about this in my show, Geggy, as well. Long story short, there was a probationary period. I wasn't very good. I complained a lot. And then they just went, well, this is not working out. And they fired me. And they escorted me from the building. They actually escorted me from the building. And it's crazy that I was fired from that job when there was someone at that job, not me, someone else, who was smearing their own shit on the wall of the toilet in the men's toilets, like on a daily basis. And there had to be like a memo sent around going, whoever's doing this, you have to stop doing this. And now I've just suddenly had a cold sweat thinking, what if they actually thought it was me? Which, like I can understand that. Like, I can understand why someone would work in an office and smear their own shit on the wall. Like, this was a call center office job. Like, you had to wear a button up. You didn't have to wear a suit, but I had to wear a button up shirt and office pants and office shoes and the rest of it, right? And a lot of people would wear ties and the rest of it and suits. And someone was smearing their own shit on the wall, like, on a daily basis. And like, I don't agree with it, but I get it. And there was a guy there. There was a guy in that was there, and he was this guy was not fired, right? So I was fired at the end of the probation period. This guy was not fired. This guy was a guy who was like a gym junkie. He was about 50, but he was like real. He was all twisted up and weird with all his fucking muscles and like all fucked up. And he was this massive gym junkie. And during the whole probation period and also after, during the whole training period and also during the probation period where we're on the phones, he would fall asleep at work constantly. Like, he would fall asleep. I would say he would like spend at least an hour and a half of each day asleep at his chair, like snoring at his chair. During the training, he would fall asleep. I heard the boss pull him aside and talk to him about it on multiple occasions and say, like, this is really unacceptable. To which he replied with, yeah, but like, you don't understand. I have to go to the gym like 9 hours a day minimum. And she was like, okay, well, like, I don't know how to help you, but like, if you have to, he's like, oh, I just don't really have time to sleep. I have to go to the gym 9 hours a day minimum. And she's like, well, you don't have to like go to the gym 9 hours a day. And he's like, no, I do. Like, I have to maintain this physique. I have to go to the gym 9 hours a day. She was like, all right, well, I mean, that's up to you, but like, you can't go to sleep at work. And he would just still go to sleep at work, and he would go to sleep and he would snore, and then he would go and wake up and then just immediately start eating chicken. Like, he'd just pull out these containers of chicken and just like, and he'd just eat the chicken and then pour like protein powder into like an old Pepsi bottle. This is what I hate. I hated it. It'd have like an old Pepsi bottle that was just filled with water and then put protein powder in it. It just like, have a water bottle. Don't have an old Pepsi bottle. I hate it. But that's not even the worst thing. The worst thing is when we were doing our training, 2 weeks, every at the start of, before after the weekend, we'd go around and do a little warm up, getting to know you, whatever the fuck, where you say what you did over the weekend. And everyone would be like, oh yeah, I went and played a game of cricket. Someone else was like, oh yeah, I had a barbecue. Oh, I went to the movies. And then it got to him and he goes, oh yeah, someone cut me off in traffic on Sydney Road, so I sped up and I pulled over and I managed to run them off the road, and they like hit a power pole, and then I got out and then I just punched their fucking window in and just like smashed in the window, and I was like, don't you fuck with me. And he goes, and they would not fuck with me again. And everyone just went like, oh yeah. Like everyone in the room was like, yeah, man, I hate idiots that cut you off on the road. Like, I wish I had recorded this. I wish I had recorded this. It was shocking. It was shocking that he said it, and shocking that almost everyone, the boss was a bit like, oh, okay, that's an unusual story. Maybe don't lead off with that. He didn't swear in it too. I added the fucks for embellishment. But he literally told a story about running someone off the road and punching their window in, and everyone went, yeah, man, bad drivers are the worst, eh? Like, we agree with you. And I was like, fuck, I found them. I found the people on Facebook comments. I'm in the room with them. They're all at my job, eating chicken, smearing their own shit on the walls. That was that job. I think I think when I just think back to all the different jobs I've had, I mean, maybe this is why I hate humanity. You know what I mean? Does anyone else, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? You see, you know what I'm talking about, Sydney? You know what I'm talking about, Melbourne? You know what I'm talking about? Los Angeles. You know what I'm talking about? London. You know when you fucking hate humanity. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about when you hate the world as a whole. When you hate people. When you think people are fundamentally rotten to the core. You know what I'm talking about? Melbourne. It's just like you spend so long working in retail and hospitality, and you've seen the worst of people. I remember working at the South Bank Visitor Centre, and there was a car park, and the car park had a cinema deal where you could get a free parking if you had validated your ticket when you went to the movie theatre. Except you had to validate your ticket at the time of the ticket purchase, right? When you bought the movie ticket, right? You had to, when you buy the movie ticket, you have to show them your car park ticket and they'll stamp it and go, you get free parking. And the signs all said that clearly, and everyone would just go to the movies, not get their ticket stamped, and then when they leave the parking lot, show the attendant, because it still had attendants back then. They would show the attendant their movie ticket and they go, that's not valid. Like, you have to have your ticket stamped and it's too late. And they would complain and they would make the signs bigger. And then they would make sure that movie staff were asking everyone, did you park? Do you need your ticket validated? And they would say no. And then just immediately go back to the car park and go, here's my cinema ticket. Can I get it for free? And they're like, no, you had that option and you failed. And like, they ended up having these loudspeakers in the car park with a man on repeat. It was like loud to the point of deafening, where you could just hear like, attention, attention. If you are getting the cinema parking deal, you must get your parking ticket stamped at the time that you purchase your movie ticket. You must get your ticket stamped at the time you purchase your movie ticket. Attention, attention, and on repeat. So loud that you would have to shout over it. And people still in droves refused to listen. And eventually they just went, let's get rid of this free parking fucking shit. And they got rid of it. Because people just can't be trusted. You can't trust them. You don't know what they're going to do. These people out there. I don't even know what the point of this whole fucking episode is. I think I just hate jobs. I think I'm just upset about the election. I'm happy that Pedo Pete didn't win, and I'm happy that the Liberal Party lost. I'm unhappy that the Greens lost seats. I'm unhappy that Purple Pingers didn't get in the Senate. That would have been funny. But I'm also just unhappy about bloody people getting mad about The Last of Us. The TV series. It's so good. And people online get mad about it. And then I look it up and I'm like, why? Fuck you. It's a good show. But yeah, jobs are shit. Every job sucks. Every job you've ever had is stupid. Every job I've ever had has been a waste of my time and your time. And every job, and this is the thing that I find, you know, people don't like it when people come up to them in the street and beg them for money. They don't like it, right? And a classic thing they'll say is, oh, why don't you get a job? I feel like that's a cliche now, but like if a homeless person is like, hey, you got any spare change, or can you give me some money or whatever, and people don't like it. They want them to leave. If you're sitting at a cafe and someone comes up and says, hey, can you give me some money? The cafe owner's like, hey, get out of here, get out of here. But like, that's the only difference between that and any other job is that they don't have a lanyard on. Like 90% of jobs I've had is some variation of that. It's just me going, hey, can you give me some money? Like, I work for Telstra, or like I work for Wow Sight and Sound, or whatever. Like, but at the end of the day, I'm just going, can you just give me some fucking money, please? Can you just give me some money? And then and I'm going to give it to my boss, and then he's going to let me have a small portion of it. Like every job is just going, can I have some money? Like, what do you need? What do you need? What is your job? Making bloody hacky sacks? No one needs a hacky sack. Just chuck $20 in the toilet. I don't know how much a hacky sack costs. What do you know? What are you buying? What are you selling? What are you buying? What are you selling? Resident Evil 4. Apart from people that make video games, all the jobs are shit. People that make video games are the best of us. And The Last of Us. Just all jobs. They're just there's some variation of begging someone for money or trying to trick someone out of money. And I was like, wow, Sight and Sound. It was like, yeah, I'll give you an extended warranty. That doesn't mean anything. Also, once I had to kick someone out of Wow Sight and Sound for spitting on a DVD player. And not out of anger. They just were like, oh, they were just spitting. They were casually just spitting around the place. And I was like, what the fuck? This guy's just going, just spitting on things and just casually looking around. And then he spat just directly on a DVD player. I'm like, hey, you got to leave. And he's like, what? Why? I'm like, because you're spitting on stuff. He was like, oh, okay. Welcome to Australia, mate. Welcome to this country. But anyway, that's just a bit of a muck around. Your boss is a fuckhead. Your job sucks. Every job sucks. They're all shit. I feel like this is a thing. I remember going home from work once. It was the call center job. And I remember staying at a train station. And I remember seeing a lifeline thing, like if you're in crisis, like call us, you know, if you're feeling like you want to harm yourself or like kill yourself. Or they didn't say explicitly that. The underlying thing was if you're feeling suicidal, give Lifeline a call. Also, do call them. I have called Lifeline many times, and a big shout out to Lifeline. I love your work. You're great. Friends of the show. I have called Lifeline. They are good. But it's a strange world that we live in where like at the train station, they're like, oh, people will sometimes like jump in front of the train, put a sign up saying, please don't. But there's no analysis of like, maybe maybe the jobs that they're doing, we could just not do them. Like maybe we could just all just share stuff. Like you don't have to go into a call center and smear shit on the wall and then tell people to go to a website. Like it's just all that could just not happen, and it'd be fine. Like the world would keep on spinning, and somehow it'd be like, oh, can we just, you know how we've got like all this corn, like we could just have a bit of corn, share the corn instead of having to go to a call center and yeah, you got to buy the corn. I don't know why I said corn. I was just thinking about corn. I was thinking about Aaron Gox. That's a little insight into my mind. But yeah, get rid of your job. Quit your job. Don't quit your job. Do a half-assed job. That's if there's anything I can give you, any piece of advice you can take away, do the absolute bare minimum that your job requires you to do without being fired. Always. Why would you do more than that? Why would you do more than the bare minimum your job requires for you to not be fired? What's the point? Like, you're not going to get more money. You know, you're not going to get extra. You're not going to get like extra. You're not going to feel happy. You're not going to be like, oh, cool. I told 6 people to go to the superannuation website instead of 5 people to go to the superannuation website. Who gives a shit? They're not giving you like extra pay. I mean, unless they are, if they're giving you overtime and stuff, then take the overtime. But like if you, you know, when I've never had a job that pays overtime or benefits. Like you just go in and then you do it and then they pay you and then sometimes they don't pay you. I once did a shift at Subway they never paid me for, but to be fair, I never even chased them up. I hated it so much. I was 21 at the time and I was desperate for a job and I went into Subway and I did a training shift and the guy that was training me was 15 and I was too fat for the Subway shirt and my belly was sticking out. And then my friend came in because he thought it would be funny to order a sub while I was working there and the guy's training me and I was going, how you going, man? And like my friend deliberately pretended like he didn't know me. And so I looked like a fucking idiot. I'm going, how you doing, man? You doing good? And he's like, can you just make my sub, please? And I'm like, and then I said to the guy training me, oh, this is a friend of mine. He goes, I've never met you before in my life. And I'm like, oh, he's mucking around. And then I think the guy that was training me thought I was crazy because my friend just committed to the bit and then he just got the sub and then he ate it and he just sat in this restaurant and ate it and stared at me and then left. And I was too embarrassed to go back or say like the shirt was too small because my belly was sticking out, and then I just never chased it up. So it's technically Subway owes me money. So if you're ever in a Subway, tell them Greg's coming for you. Greg's coming to get you. Maybe I'll go on the Subway diet and I'll lose weight. Like Jared. Which is a great segue to say, and it's actually a little spoiler, but it's not. It's a secret spoiler because you don't know the context. It's just the worst, dumbest plug I've ever done, but actually watch The Rehearsal with Nathan Fielder. If you've never seen The Rehearsal, oh my fucking God. I mean, what am I doing plugging The Rehearsal? This is a HBO show, but I mean, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Literally the greatest comedy that's ever been made. The Rehearsal season 1, season 2 is coming out. I've seen 3 episodes, and season 2 is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It is the funniest thing that's ever been made. Like hands down, not even close. I'm plugging The Rehearsal on HBO. I don't care. It's good. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that little episode. We'll be back next time. Get onto my Patreon, get onto my Redbubble, get onto my pussy. Get onto my pussy. And we'll see you next time with more Greg Larson show.
The Greg Larson Show. The big unit is ready to go. The Greg Larson Show. Muck around on the Mazapan. A fresh custard in his hand. The greatest podcast in all the land. Greg Larson Show.